60 years ago, Brazil encouraged millions of its citizens to colonize the Amazon. Currently, a disappearing forest is surrounded by soy crops, livestock enclosures, and logging yards. A violent and corrupt border is currently encroaching on indigenous lands, national parks, and one of the best preserved regions of the jungle, driven by mysterious financial sources and surging beef demand. The Amazon's future is less certain than it has ever been as human activity increases there. Scientists warn that the jungle is on the verge of collapse due to decades of human activities and a changing climate. The name rainforest refers to the area's extreme humidity, where trees draw water from the ground, which condenses into rain as it rises in the atmosphere. Deforestation, forest fires, and increases in global temperature upset this equilibrium. The water cycle will soon become irrevocably interrupted, experts warn, thereby locking in the decades-old trend of decreasing rainfall and lengthening dry seasons. The dwindling woodland will, at least partially, be replaced by savanna. Even if climate change is controlled, scientists predict that even with the loss of up to 17% of the forest, the tipping point will be reached at 20 to 25% of deforestation. A significant portion of the central, eastern, and southern Amazon would undoubtedly turn into arid scrubland if global temperatures rise as anticipated by 4 degrees Celsius. The Amazon fires of 2019 helped bring to light a problem that the world can no longer ignore. Constant colonization, environmental destruction, and a warming climate are coming together at the heart of this ancient forest to produce a crisis. The Amazon could completely disappear within a few generations if current trends continue, which would have disastrous effects for all life on Earth. The Amazon has been around for 10 million years. The immense river basin that dominates South America is home to 390 billion trees and is an unparalleled haven for biodiversity. Every other day, biologists discover a new species, including pink river dolphins, emperor tamarins, and blue morpho butterflies. About 13,000 years ago, the earliest humans arrived in the Amazon region from Central America. Up to 10 million tribespeople resided in fortified towns, built ritual earthworks, and tended to orchards and fields. In what is now the Brazilian state of Rondônia, the Caripuna tribe roamed one area just south of where the Madeira River splits into its tributaries amid rapids and waterfalls. 1,000 kilometers to the northeast is where the Amazon River empties. The forest extends into Bolivia, Peru, Colombia, and Venezuela to the west and north. Beginning in 1492, when the Europeans began to colonize the Americas, settlement plantations spread throughout the New World, causing extensive deforestation for use as farming, firewood, and homes. By the early 20th century, the world had lost so many trees that what was lost could have covered the entire Amazon once over, but the rainforest itself was still mostly intact. Not so for its residents. The Caripuna's population was destroyed by diseases like the flu and measles brought about by contact with outsiders, like many of the more than 300 tribes that still exist in Brazil. Once development got going after the arrival of the European invaders, it expanded relentlessly. One of the 9 nations in the Amazon basin, Brazil, has cut a region the size of Texas. Ranching is king in this frontier state of Rondônia. where much economic activity is illegal and government officials are frequently intimidated or bought off. Demand for agricultural land, primarily for soy farming and cow ranching, is the main factor driving the increase in deforestation in the Amazon. Brazil's agricultural sector contributes about a quarter of the GDP, while the Amazon alone is home to more than 50 million cattle. To produce crops and satisfy the world's desire for cattle, farmers and ranchers remove rainforest. Farmers and ranchers receive a consistent supply of meat, milk, leather, and eggs in exchange. Why, therefore, should the rest of the world be concerned about the destruction and clearing of the Amazon rainforest? Since the Amazon rainforest has absorbed enormous amounts of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, its destruction would be a significant factor in the rise of global temperatures. What will happen to these emissions if the Amazon rainforests vanish forever? The answer to that question cannot be fully answered at the moment, since current projects about what would happen if all that carbon is released into the Earth's atmosphere could be considerably worse. One of the greatest carbon sinks on Earth is the Amazon rainforest, which has an astounding 123 billion tons of carbon in it. Actually, since the 1960s, the Amazon basin has taken up about a third of all carbon dioxide emissions, which has helped to lower the planet's temperature. But as the Amazon forest ages, it will lose its capacity to act as a carbon sink. It might therefore have to be replaced with different kinds of CO2-absorbing tropical forests. Deforestation is now a significant source of greenhouse gases. A recent study suggests that if deforestation persists, the Amazon region may eventually turn into a net CO2 emitter. The Amazon forest is essential for cooling the Earth, in addition to storing carbon and recycling enormous amounts of water. It could become the greatest area of scrubland on Earth if these trees are taken down. Deforestation could endanger ecosystems as well as the cloud cover and the evapotranspiration cycle, which affect ocean circulation. Scientists have cautioned that the loss of the Amazon rainforest might trigger a cycle that is dangerously self-reinforcing, prolonging the dry season and escalating wildfires as fewer trees remain. The ecosystem of the entire region could collapse within decades as a result of these two tendencies, which have the potential to have devastating effects. At that point, a number of additional threats related to the global climate may possibly appear. However, it has been difficult for researchers and decision-makers to predict the precise moment when the rainforest could disappear. As previously mentioned, the discharge of massive quantities of greenhouse gases is one of the main issues with clearing the Amazon. Since this would result in greater temperatures all throughout the world, it would be very detrimental to air quality. Scientists are now predicting a global tipping point where the rainforests are unable to recover from disruptions, despite the fact that deforestation has escalated over the previous few decades. Large portions of the Amazon biome will swiftly change into a grassy savanna once they are gone. This could not only result in localized dryness, but also significantly affect global atmospheric circulation and weather patterns. Scientists have cautioned that a deforested Amazon may discharge enough carbon emissions to last for several years. The discharge of these carbon emissions is equivalent to many years' worth of global carbon emissions, according to experts, who also predict that up to 60% of the Amazon forest will be gone. Previous research has, however, questioned the threshold at which forest dieback will be significant. Some experts are worried that considerable forest dieback could happen by the end of the century, even though scientists are still debating the threshold for deforestation. The Amazon's heart must be protected in order to avoid the worst-case scenario. Brazilian rainforests cover 1.5 million square miles, and 19.8% of that area has been colonized, largely in the south and east. However, significant portions of the west and center have not been affected. However, that might soon change. Brazil's government in particular must implement regulations to safeguard this crucial resource. Since its removal would affect us all in the form of increased global temperatures, droughts, and changed weather patterns, the entire globe must band together to safeguard the Amazon. The Amazon contributes greatly to everyone's comfort and ability to live on planet Earth. Large amounts of carbon are captured and stored, and it also serves to lower global temperatures by releasing moisture into the atmosphere, which leads to rain and precipitation. The Amazon is also home to thousands of plant, animal, and insect species that may contain the solution to many human illnesses and diseases. They may only be waiting for us to find them. All of this and more may be lost as a result of our avarice, greed, selfishness, short-sightedness, and let's face it, plain stupidity. So that more people can hear this message, kindly share this video or give us a like. Please share your opinions on this subject in the comments